Good morning. Good to see you, Gideon.
Good to see you too, Irene. Wonderful, wonderful morning to you.
Well, thank you. Is my voice okay?
Yes, it's quite okay, not a problem. It's okay, and I hope that you can hear me very audibly too, if I may ask.
Yes. Yes.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Good to have you, Irene. It's the first of Leadership Thought 2025, a wonderful Tuesday morning, the 12th of August. It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you. And finally, we are able to make this meeting happen. A wonderful chat, a wonderful time with Irene Riad.
It's a pleasure really to be with you here, Gideon. Thank you for the invitation and the space that I don't take lightly. I think it's a fabulous space you create for leaders like yourself and others who are really looking for depth. And the force of leadership thought is just a beautiful, beautiful, energetic title.
Thank you so much, Irene. We're going to spend some time today to get to meet you, to get to know you a little bit, just a little bit more, and to get to explore your thoughts and your vision and your transformational coaching practice. And I hope that you will be able to do that for us today and for this year's Force of Leadership Thought.
It's my
I
pleasure.
want us to just quickly have you tell us a little bit about who Irene is, just a little bit.
Yeah, that question is quite a large one. Where to start? So Irene as a human, global human, it's really how I just give an overview, who has experienced different cultures around the world, from the way I have been brought up and lived and educated. So it spans Saudi Arabia, it spans the UK, my origin culture, Egypt, which has a bit now of Albania, my husband, and where I'm from, and educated in the United States, education, not in the United States, but having an American education throughout, hence my accent. And I start from there because I value culture tremendously and I see the nuances of culture.
Mhm.
And it's usually where we start to understand a lot of ourselves,
Mm.
our identity and who we are, and how leadership has formed during this cultural growth.
Mhm.
Professionally, I'm an executive coach professionally, so I follow the ICF, the International Coach Federation, and the European Mentoring and Coaching Council, and a third one as well, the International Association of Trauma Recovery Coaching.
Mhm.
So coaching is like my bread and butter. It's how I think, how I act. Now I bring coaching into different methodologies with leaders. So if I talk about generally my practice, so it's based in executive coaching, and there's usually bits and pieces like the MOSAIC parts of mentoring, teaching, psychoeducation, but founded in executive coaching, which is the ability to really help leaders think for themselves and understand their thinking.
Mm.
So that's the professional side. I'm a mother of two, married, based in Albania, and I travel between Albania and the UAE because my company is based in both countries,
Mhm.
and UAE is where I have lived and grown professionally for 10 years
Mhm.
amongst the the other years where I've worked. I'm giving away my age here, but
Oh, not necessarily.
which is totally, I take, yeah, age is a number, but I feel proud to have spent 10 years in the UAE
Mhm,
and then another around 30 years around different
mhm,
countries.
mhm. Well, Irene, you sound very global. That's something that one cannot take away from you. Your experience, your passion, and your vision has taken you to places. And you have not just been to places, you have been to cultures. You have seen different cultures, you've seen different people, you've seen different practices, you've attended different educational platforms, and it has shaped the work that you do, and it has also shaped the way you deal and interact with people. And I think most importantly, it has shaped your vision for the things that you do. Let me also quickly let our viewers know that Irene is an author of, this is not going to be your last book, Irene. I believe so very strongly for you. I believe another one is coming.
Oh, yes. Yes, in the process on another one. But
Okay. So we're just going to take this as a tip of, as a tip. The other ones are coming, I should say.
fingers crossed. Yes, I
Okay.
could see that in my vision in the
Okay.
pipeline.
Very good. So Irene is the author of the book Radical Becoming, a superpower of success. I have a copy already, and I'm still going to get two more this year. Like I said, I want to invest in the leaders around me. You talk so much about leadership, Irene. What has informed that in you?
Yeah, there are many facets for sure. I believe the largest impact, which can be traced also to younger years, but it's the way to move forward from disruption. So I found that moving not away, maybe that's not the right word, moving forward, moving upward, from and with disruption. So disruption could be changes in life, it could be just new beginnings in life, new endings, something that disrupts uh, uh, the way of life, the normal kind of go-to. And I think um, looking at leaders who have done it well, starting with my father and other leaders I came in contact with who have shown me how disruption is actually what I call now an initiation to actually the redirection of life or business or wherever that disruption is, if it's family related or business related. So I find those who are able to contain and work with disruption or changes, challenges, but that really disrupt the big ones. I think those are the ones that have informed me the most. Yeah, and those draw from us maybe qualities that we did not expect in us. And they draw from us a kind of introspection that we have not done before. Surely it humbles us because we need to realize we cannot control this disruption. Some of it is external, some of it may be coming internally from our work. But sorry, my voice, but that is the key, I would say. And that's actually something I discuss with leaders when they are on a journey with me. Usually, they may be coming around that time. Something has happened that requires them to think differently. And then it's really opening that space to allow who is that leader inside that is emerging. So there are many qualities. I mean, the qualities could be endless, but it's around your ability and capacity to be with disruption without being overwhelmed or engrossed in it.
Wow. The force of leadership thought is actually conceived to challenge leaders, to bring leaders together, to develop leaders, and to reveal the possibilities of leadership. If I may ask you, in your journey in this leadership development, is there any particular definition of leadership that has inspired you at one point in your journey? What specific leadership philosophy or leadership definition that has really been with you this far?
Yeah. What keeps coming back in many quotes or many definitions of leadership is this piece about empowering others.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've always added on it, it's not just empowering people for anything. I mean, obviously, everything is good to empower people where possible. But I like to define leadership in the sense that it's empowering others to achieve their greatest dreams,
Mm-hmm.
to achieve a vision they never thought was possible. So it's the empowerment of people to challenge them, as you mentioned. So empowering is not all love, love. It's kind of, it could be tough love.
Okay.
It's empowering them, giving them the belief system, the resources, the connections, whichever way. Empowering has many facets, but to achieve their highest potential, their biggest dreams. And I usually connect it to a sacred journey.
Okay.
My own leadership is a sacred journey, and I feel any leader who identifies as a leader, I invite them to look at their journey as a leader as a sacred journey, because you're empowering people to achieve something they've never thought was possible. And that requires some, I say, sacred, divine intervention, because there's faith needed in the unknown, because we're in an unknown, volatile, changing world. We can plan only so much. So that definition, I always check in with myself. Am I the leader empowering people to achieve what is perhaps inconceivable? And that draws from them a great potential. It requires of them to rework their belief system. Yeah. And there's so much that happens internally first that would open up that ability, that leader, the people that are following or being empowered can achieve. And as a leader who's doing it, I must believe that too. I must, have stepped those levels earlier. My faith is potentially the source from which they start drawing theirs first until theirs is solid in themselves. So it's a sacred journey of impact. I can give it just a phrase.
A sacred journey of impact. Wow. Let me tell you this very personally. I have gone through the pages of books, and I have watched movies on leadership. I've seen a lot of articles and writings, but I haven't quite really seen the concept of legacy leadership being emphasized. It seems to me that you are, to me, in my opinion, a foremost pioneering person on the concept of legacy leadership. And I looked around me recently and I asked myself, what is the idea behind it all. Isn't it about legacy? If it's not about legacy, then what it is about? So, Irene, I want you to briefly tell us why this strategic, unusual leadership niche called legacy leadership. And before you answer, I will tell you something I saw on the TV just recently. One of the global leaders, I don't want to mention the name, but it has to do with some of the struggles going around the world today. He was being interviewed and he was asked, so what is your legacy going to be? This is an interviewer asking another interviewee, a great leader. We all know him very well. So he was asking him, what then is going to be your legacy? And I was shocked that he hesitated for a while, probably lost for the appropriate answer or response to that question. And that was where it hit me. Legacy leadership. Irene, why legacy leadership?
I love that question. Thank you, Gideon. It's a beautiful question. And I ask myself the same. And I always check in. Am I still fascinated and passionate about it? And definitely I am. And it may require us to check what is the word legacy mean, because it can have different definitions for people, and there could be one definition, but how do people interpret it? So for me, legacy I speak about is the one within. So I do understand, and I do also work with leaders who want to leave a legacy as if it's something they're going to leave outside in the world. And many people only think of this very late in life. And my hope is that I prompt people to start thinking of it early, whether it is their perception is the one outside or inside. But I emphasize that the legacy work we're doing must start with inside, because I see each one of us as the legacy. The legacy is born within me, so I must be living it now. So I'm living my legacy. I am the legacy. It's like a nuanced I am it, and I will definitely leave footprints where I go. So it made me think, so if I want to do great work in life, which is where this word came up, what was the work I wanted to do for the rest of my life? When I decided to really focus on executive depth coaching. And it was, I want to be able to empower people to do the work inwardly, inside, so that they can discover their inner kingdom, their inner legacy, what it is, what it's about, what gives them fulfillment, all these questions, but with foresight that they're going to do something with it. And so we could spend a lot of time just doing inner work, but not do anything outside in terms of contribution to community, to society, to our part of why we're here on earth, which I feel is a shame, because if you've done the work inwardly, which is really ongoing kind of work, that just has a perspective that I need to find that inner, the legacy leader, the legacy identity. What is that about? It's something grand, and I believe every individual has it. So it came from one side professionally, when I wanted to decide, okay, what is that work that will continue pouring in me so I can continue to pour in others? And it's the term I came to because, and I just redefined it my way, that legacy is about your inner kingdom, your inner identity. Now, there is a personal side, which is, I believe, legacy work. Usually you find the seed of it in disruption, in discomfort, which kind of connects to our very first conversation. It's where the gift and the gold and the power starts to burn, is usually when we're at our toughest time in life. And when I reflected on the work that I wanted to do, to leave in the world, for the world, and live today, I was reflecting on what purpose is this going to provide me personally. And it connected to my personal setback in life when I was alienated from my 5-year-old child. Until today, he's now 22, and things are in process, but it's still, we're on that journey. And I wanted, and I've always desired, that the work I do must be work that would support him, because I do want to do work that, even if I cannot support him physically in those years that have passed, that I would be doing something and leaving something that he would benefit from. So I was thinking ahead for my children, for my children's children and their children. And I invite leaders to start thinking so far ahead, because then they can dig deeper. Because once I realized I want to do this work, and this came up from my setback, my discomfort, my disruption, I realized that person, that mother who for a long time has been and is grieving, but maybe previously grieving in a victim kind of mentality, feeling helpless and powerless because things are out of my control, and so on and so on. That person needs to take that emotional turmoil, emotional challenges, and process them and become someone who can actually grow a legacy and become a legacy. And so the focus of this introspection came is, okay, so legacy needs to start in who I am.
Okay.
And it was this finding a way where, how can I talk about this full journey? What is that term that helps me tell leaders, I want to work with you on how any disruption may be seeds and roots of your purpose and why, and some power that has been nurtured, maybe unknowingly, unconsciously, subconsciously, things have been there, but they need to be uncovered, and then do something with it so that in the future you're proud, you're contributing. And I felt this journey, how I describe it, is legacy. And that the work we do is ultimately the work that reveals our own greatness. And I say it from a humble greatness, like really see the greatness inside you, because we are quick to see what's not working, where we're broken, if we are broken, because I believe that's another thing, we're never broken. But we're very quick to see our brokenness or our limitations, or we're quick because society trains us to. It's not because we're at fault, but it's always in our face what we're lacking, what we need to do. And it takes effort to find our own greatness, our own message. And that was the term was born from there. How do I term this for leaders? And I was actually similar like you, not finding many people who actually just boldly or clearly, bluntly, straightforward say, this is about legacy leadership. And it took me a while to even wrap my head around it, because I was thinking, who am I to talk about legacy leadership? But hearing my own inner divine voice, it always says back, you you are the person to talk about how it's being developed, because I'm also on the journey of developing it. I haven't made it yet. So I don't want to come out of making it and saying, here's the path. I want to take people on the path while I'm on the path.
It's interesting. You talked about the MOSAIC integral leadership also in your book. Could you tell us briefly what MOSAIC integral leadership is about?
Absolutely. It's a transformational system that looks at the parts within you to create that big change, that legacy change. Okay. So it's the inner workings of humanity, of who you are as a person. And MOSAIC is an acronym that stands for the different 7 parts, lenses, from which your inner legacy work, your inner kingdom becomes at its best. So we always look at it from a mosaic, and M means mind, O means your operating system, which is the body. So all your brains, nervous system, your physical body, because we're in a physical world. MOS, the S is the soul and the spirit, and I see them separately. The A is the alignment with universe, with divine, with God, however you define it. What is it? The I is the identity we create in our new and outer relationships, because our identity is being reshaped while we're doing this mosaic, who I am and how I relate to my new beliefs, how I relate to outside as well, because if my new beliefs are changing, maybe I need to look at that connection outside as well. And then C is the community piece, which is leadership, giving back. And I say community and friendship in my book. I really value friendship, and I don't feel so much is said about the love of friendship, but I believe it's one of the most powerful forces next to romantic love and the partner you have. But having a friend, maybe it's your partner, but maybe it's another person, having a friend with a relative, like that friendship trait, dynamic, if we can bring in that more in our community, I think that would flavor it differently than when we say we're family in community. But these are the 7 mosaic pieces. So the system is how inside of you we address what comes up as you're on that journey path to legacy work.
I'm going to encourage our listeners and whoever is watching this chat with Irene Riad to get a copy of The Radical Becoming. You would get to understand more and the concept of MOSAIC integral leadership and how it can transform you personally and then also corporately. The MOSAIC integral leadership Radical Becoming by Irene Riad. Irene, on a lighter mood, tell us some of the challenges that you have had working, educating, transforming, and turning ordinary people into effective leaders.
Some of the challenges. Yeah. I think working with really really smart, high-achieving, high-performing leaders has its different kind of challenges, because these are leaders who are switched on, really intelligent, they're seasoned, they've got a lot, they've done a lot, and they've got a lot to show for it. Now, when you're going into legacy path, like trying to really understand the purpose or what you're trying to do and set it up, I think maybe the challenges is I find it a lot more in trusting the unknown, which can be translated to them letting go of what they know because it's worked so well. To just try new things. And that could be things, usually things related to imagination. As executive leaders, especially in corporate, imagination or being able to create without limits is not as much. And when I work with founders or CEOs who are owning their own company, they can go there a bit quicker, but oftentimes it's trusting the unknown. So how do we cultivate faith, unshakable faith in themselves, unshakable faith in the creator? Yeah, I find these conversations are, they're different for each person, depending on their level of belief, also, depending on level of belief. So that comes up. That's a challenge, and it's a very tricky, fluid one because it cannot be pushed. It's just if it's received, it's received. And I find that my role usually with them is just opening a new perspective. So I don't push anything on people. It's just say, this is a perspective to think about. And oftentimes just reflecting on that perspective in real life, because if we don't pay attention to it, we'll never see it. If we start paying attention to it, we'll see it. But that's an area. And the other area I find is joy, bringing in joy, bringing in a bit more of ease and flow. It's counterintuitive. And sometimes leaders say, okay, just tell me 1, 2, 3, what to do. And I joke with them because we need to let their mind kind of just go into a bit of imagination or relax, or because it is when you are really having some downtime, free time to just reflect, take care of your own mind, body, soul, that creative ways come up. So I think these two areas, I always remind myself as well to bring in joy and fun, because these topics could be deep and heavy, but it's breathing through them and just taking a step back. And there's a word called titration. So we go in deep and then we go out and just relax with this material, go in deep, and then we go. Because it's not a race. It's a journey. And so these two areas, I like to, they are challenges because it's not, I have to remind leaders, we have to actually sometimes put it in the calendar to kind of structure it a bit, but they eventually become the pieces that leaders go to when they become familiar with it and practice.
Wow. Irene, I want to have you one more time again, if you would allow me to.
I would love to.
Yes, I haven't actually really started to dig into your dreams and your passion and your vision for leadership, and I will consider this just to be an introduction for us, myself, and those who are watching this interview or this chat right now with you. And I'm going to ask you just about a minute or two, tell us what is your vision for the future, and then we would round off there, and we would have to come back a second time to ask you even more deeper question on your journey and your passion for leadership. Tell us briefly, what is your vision for the future? And then we would end this conversation there, and then we would come back again to have you to talk more with us and to enlighten us more on the things that are ahead. Go ahead.
Would love that. Thanks for the invitation. Would love that. I think my vision for the future is that we've created a world where the education and the business and the healthcare institutes or fields have started to weave in work around identity or legacy identity. So my aim is to have this woven into some kind of practice or curriculum globally, so in education, healthcare, and business, so that the next generation of leaders who are either coming out of education, entering corporate, or healthcare, because this is about our health and our vitality as well, to be strong and creative and do good in the world, that this doesn't become a luxury, that it becomes essential content, taught and educated, and is within different spaces, so it's relevant. So people study it, live it in education. It becomes relevant when they're a leader who knows who he is or who she is, and vibes that with their team. And healthcare, because that's the industry where we're taking care of our humans. Yes, physically is important, but with every physical healing process, there is a mental, emotional, spiritual side that needs to complement it. And often there's no space for that at the moment. So if there is that kind of ecosystem where work on legacy identity eventually becomes legacy leadership in business and legacy regeneration in healthcare, however we define it. But that's my dream. That's my high dream.
Wow. Well, thank you very much, Irene. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first episode. This is the first section of our great conversation with Irene Riad, executive coach, depth coach, and the author of the book, Radical Becoming the Super Power of Success. We will have Irene again, ladies and gentlemen. She's not going anywhere until we are done with her. And Irene, thank you so much for this wonderful time. And we would see you very soon to have a second discussion on this important subject matter. Thank you so much, Irene. And
Thank
to
you.
all our listeners, our viewers, thank you so much for your time. We will be back very soon with Irene. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Irene,
so much.
and have a
Thank you.
wonderful day. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you.